In this video, we're going to discuss lead times, how to set up lead times, what do they mean, and how to set different lead times for different products or different vendors. So first of all, let's jump over to what is a lead time. Well, the simplest way to look at it is a lead time is the time that it takes from the minute you place an order with a supplier for that purchase order or that inventory to travel and arrive at its final destination. And that is the whole lead time. So in SoStocked, after you've set up your vendors and your inventory, the next thing to do is to set up your lead times. You're going to have a default lead time, and that's going to be the only one that shows up. Now we've edited it, but your default lead time will look something like this. I'm going to click into this to show you how these lead times work. The default lead time can be renamed, or you can go create a brand new lead time by clicking up here and click lead time. Let's walk through this. So you can choose any portion of this and actually build out your workflow. So generally it's going to be like a very simple lead time would be production. Let's say you're sourcing from China and your production is 30 days, and then it's going to be ocean freight, and then there's ground freight, and then it will end at FBA. That's a very traditional and standard lead time for most private label sellers. But there's a lot of other different types of lead times you can build for every type of business model. Let's say you're not going to FBA, but you're actually sending inventory to a warehouse. It's called third-party warehouse, but this could be your own private warehouse. And it takes a day for it to check in at the warehouse. You would select your warehouse, whatever the name of your warehouse is that you want, and you can name it. But there's a lot of different ways you could make lead times. Nowadays with COVID and everything and lower storage limits at Amazon, people have created some very interesting lead times. For example, you might have a lead time that actually produces the inventory in China and then immediately goes into their own warehouse. And it could actually be the same supplier that built the product. And this would probably just be a one-day check-in where the supplier manufactures the inventory and then stores it at their own warehouse. This is not very traditional, but it is kind of a backup lead time that some people are using. Here's another example for those of you who are doing wholesale. Maybe you're ordering from your supplier, it goes on a truck, it goes through your prep center where you unpackage it and you repackage it for Amazon, and then immediately it goes back on a truck and actually goes directly to FBA. But you do have this 5-day hold at your prep center. This is another example of a lead time. So there's a lot of different ways you can set up lead times. The other option you have is to assign as a default to a vendor. So what you can do is you can actually choose a vendor and make that vendor use this as its default lead time. And what that really means is if you were to make a purchase order from that vendor, so here's ABC supplier, and we're purchasing a bunch of this inventory, it's going to choose our default lead time that we've assigned to that vendor, and there is a hierarchy. So when you assign a lead time to a vendor, then every purchase order you make is going to automatically use that lead time. And it can definitely be overridden. You can go in here and you can edit the lead time on an order by order basis, or you can actually choose from a drop down of different lead times that you've created. You can also override the lead time in our forecast area over here at a marketplace level or a product by product level. But that's what setting a default means. Once you've created your custom lead times, you will have them all here, and it'll show you how many vendors are assigned as defaults or if these are just backup lead times with no vendor assigned. Now we can go over to our order tracker and kind of track where the inventory is per purchase order or per work order based on those lead times. And again, if we click into one of these, we can actually see the lead time right here with an ETA of when it will arrive at its final destination. And if we wanted to edit that lead time, let's say it took too long on the boat, you could simply go up here and edit the order and adjust your lead time manually. You can create as many lead times as you want. There's no limit. You can create a lead time for every situation you foresee in your business.